Welcome to day 4 of Anne's first look at all the new goodies. And today is Color Me Day. We've got lots of coloring agents to use on the Color Me papers.
And we have 3 new Color Me card toppers.
That's right. And I can hardly wait to see what Anne's done with these. Come play with us. Well, here is the newest release in the Color Me. You can see there are card toppers and papers.
And we're going to start with the papers?
Yeah, so you're going to get those over.
Okay.
Thank you. So now the sheets are available individually, but I like the sampler pack because it just kind of brings everything together.
Right.
Now, all of these are in the ebony finish, so that means they're all the black. And on the insert, you will see always scrapbook pages and cards, but particularly in the Color Me, you're just going to get lots of ideas.
Right, lots of techniques and different ways of coloring your Color Me papers.
And more ideas, as you can see over there. Okay, ooh, isn't that great? Okay, stay focused, Paulette. Now, this is the first, and this is Susan's Paisley, and Paisleys are creeping up lots of places.
They are.
Have you noticed?
Right.
So, and the black, do it with me, touch it. You've got to touch it.
I can feel it.
Yeah, because
Did
it's
we
smooth.
say this was called Susan's Flowers, this pack?
We didn't say that. Thank you.
I didn't think so.
Susan's Flowers.
Susan's Flowers, so you're going to see lots of things like that.
Yes, so beautiful look. It's kind of a Zentangle-ish look.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, we also have a border treatment, and I guess it could go
it's just
like that. It could go
Beautiful.
a couple of different, I think you
Sure.
could play with that a bit.
You could play with that. You could cut them out if you needed to. You could cut out just portions of it to tuck a little photo under there.
And look at that.
Oh, this is great.
Very striking.
And so all of that black is that raised, glossy Color Me.
Right, and what will happen is that the black area, the ebony, will resist any color you put on it. That allows the paper to absorb it. And then if there's extra of the coloring agent, just wipe it off with a paper towel. So we've got this, very striking. Then we have a stripe, and the stripe is fun because you can cut these into borders.
Right.
You can just use them in lots of ways.
You can cut along those scalloped edges, or you can cut out individual flowers.
Lots of options. And then we have another all over, as you can see, kind of equal parts of the ebony and the white paper. Maybe
very, very floral.
And then we have the borders and tags and labels. And this sheet is so nice because you immediately have embellishments to go with the Color Me.
That's right. And they match the different papers that you were seeing. And there's lots of big areas for computer journaling or stamping and, of course, coloring them.
Right. So there are the 6 sheets in the sampler pack. And let me bring in the first page. And actually, Lene did this page, but I thought it was a good kind of step 1 for doing this. And I do want to tell you that ClearSnap did something very special for us. They did 3 colors of their chalk fluid ink pads just for Paper Wishes.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes. So
Periwinkle, Cheeky.
I like Cheeky.
And Clover.
Right, so very nice. Now, obviously, all 3 of them were used here. You might have a little trouble seeing the Cheeky because on this page, it's pretty light. But thank you, John, going in. Let me lift it. Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Just really
And that's
pretty.
just done with a stylus blending tool and those chalk inks. And I can show you a little bit of how we do that.
Please do that.
Grab one of those papers for me and the chalk inks.
This is really the magic of Color Me, which means that you can design your own paper. Well, the design is there, but you can color your own paper.
Sure, and all you need is one of these great stylus blending tools. These are wonderful.
Also done by ClearSnap.
By ClearSnap, and they have these removable tips on the end, so you can just snap those on and put on a clean one when you're ready to change
They have
colors.
refills. Have you ever tried washing these? Does that work?
I think I've done it a little bit. You can do it a little bit, and they will. You know what I do is I just kind of keep one color for. I just use my greens to sort of wipe it off and use a green one again. And
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just didn't know.
That's all right. And so you just pick up a little color, and then you can just start adding it. You know, I'm going to stamp off first onto something in case that's a little bit too heavy, because I don't want to overdo it and have these lines around that stylus sponge, and just start blending in. And I always use circular motion. It's just sort of make sure that you don't have these sharp edges. So you can concentrate color a little bit more in some areas and get it lighter in other areas. And then you can get like another color like that cheeky color. Get a little of that, and then just start coloring in some of the flowers.
So you're just going straight down on it in a circular motion,
I am.
like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That one actually could use a little bit more. There we go. And I always, I like to concentrate it in the center there, and then sort of move out. And that way you get sort of a halo effect on that flower. Isn't that beautiful?
Very nice.
If you want to make sure that the colors are not overpowering the black part of it, you can just sort of wipe it off with right off of the
and I think
portion of it.
You'd want to do that, don't you think?
Yeah.
Just in case, because I mean, you're going to get stray color lots of places.
It dulls it. It's not just the color. When the color sits there, it makes it not so glossy.
Oh, does it?
A little bit cloudy, so you want to wipe it off.
Okay,
so, beautiful.
So I just want to bring this back in so you can see, I'll scoot those away, you can see just what you can do. Now, in this case, it is the blue, pink, and green. It could be purple and blue. It could be, I mean, just really
any color
anything.
You want. That's what's great about Color Me. You can make it whatever color you need.
Now, how about this border? That has come from that last sheet.
And this one has actually been cut out with a white,
Did you grab it?
About 1/8 of an inch on either side of that strip, so that you have a white, it's naturally matted that way.
Yeah, so when you go to cut it out, that's what you're saying, it's just cut along the white.
Cut into the paper a little
So there is, and it's 12 inches across, these are 12 by 12. Now this has been done with this piece, but there's also extra flowers on this labels and borders
so
piece.
it's easy to embellish. So there's no journaling on this label. It's just been foam taped. The flowers have been foam taped up above. And then I'm seeing pink and blue jewel dazzles placed on the centers of all of those flowers. You can see them in just a little bit of an extra shine to add
of course. Oh, did you do the tag?
No, there's the tag. That's right. That's the Color Me tag. So it's just been, and it wasn't colored. It was left white. It's always nice to leave a little bit of white sometimes. And then it's been journaled on, and then that part was colored in.
Right. So the flower is part of the art.
Part of the
artwork.
There you go.
So that works well.
Beautiful.
Okay, now let's see what Anne has been up to. And Anne has gone into the watercolor pencils, hasn't she?
Yes, and she's done a beautiful job
And
with those.
there's our Anne. There's her husband. There they are out shopping.
They're at Saturday Market in this weather. That's unique to Portland.
It is. So you can see that very simply done. She's let the white area stay white and just colored in the design.
I do want to point out, while it looks sort of white, in that if you can sort of, if you get close, I mean, how are you going to see that? There is stamping. There's like ghosted stamping in the background. It's a little more prominent up here.
I didn't see
She
that.
used one of the fluid chalk inks for that. So, and so she stamped it with, I can't remember, the stamp set must be,
I bet I know what it is. Okay. Labels and greetings and labels.
I'm not sure. It's flowers, though. It's and so anyway, I think those are Susan's flowers. Susan's flowers.
You think? Okay.
I think so.
It'll be in the gallery.
Boy, we're all decided.
Well,
She stamped and then ghost stamped, so she did generation stamping on the background, and then colored in. Really went to town and colored in with the watercolor pencils, and then add a little bit of water to help blend them.
Makes it very easy,
Beautiful.
and you can see just along the edge there. Let that stay, and then went up the side. Just beautifully done. She also rounded the corners here. And these are two other elements that are on that label, labels and borders.
This one turned on side here, so you can see that floral on the side. I usually think of it like with the floral up at the top, but that's a nice look. Beautiful.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Now I have a card, and this card is that Color Me that had the black everywhere. And this was done again with the fluid chalk inks, the clover.
With those exclusive new colors that we have.
And you can see the green circles, or the circles were done in green, and then the flowers in the periwinkle and the cheeky.
And I love that border on the bottom, which is cut from that.
Are you looking for this?
That's what I was looking for. And if you turn it over, you have the strip that she used here, right there. There you go.
Like that.
So you just cut that out. And I love that she cut along the scallops there.
Right.
And so it's just a little bit of a cutaway edge to the card.
and then done some jewel dazzles right in the center. And I like this technique of kind of smudging some of the fluid chalk ink, that's the clover, and then stamping on top of it does a nice job.
It's beautiful.
And this is the 3/4 inch crepe ribbon set. Works nicely with this.
A little bit of the jewel dazzles in the center of those flowers.
Now Anne, knowing Anne, has gone a completely different way with this page, and she has
with this card.
Yeah, a card. Sorry, I said page, didn't I?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
So here's the Paper Patchwork 2 template, which is used, and when you use each of these, like you start, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, you start adding them together and you get a complete patchwork look, which is what she did here. But for the first part, instead of using this square, she just covered the whole card with that lavender cardstock.
Okay, and you can see how she's gone in with her Color Me and it's done it in shades of purple. I think I want to bring this back one more. There are, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patterns on this template. This is the 4-sided pinwheel, and what's nice about this is that you only cut, instead of cutting all of these pieces, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you're only cutting a couple of larger pieces and just placing them because the way this has been engineered.
So while you might think these are individual pieces, they are connected.
We tricked you.
And then there's the center is this small square placed there, and then those rhinestones are placed on it, which are just beautiful.
And the rhinestones are the want to scrap rhinestones. There are 72 here in several different sizes. You can see that Anne has done a great job of putting them together. This is a 5-inch square card.
And those are colored with Spectrum Noir pens.
Okay.
So I believe that she did the coloring on the paper first and then cut it out.
And look what she did on the inside. One pinwheel all by itself, no backing, and kind of did a little stick there with another piece of the Color Me.
Very unique idea.
So not only can you use them for, you know, just by themselves, but you can also use them with the templates, and that's nice to know. Now we're going to go into
card toppers.
Right, we're going to do the first one, and this is called what?
Flowers and Swirls card toppers.
Okay.
So in each one of these, you're going to get how many designs?
You get 3 designs. Let me just go through this. Maybe that'll be easier. So you're going to get these card toppers, and the reason why we did them this way is because whatever coloring agent you use, very often they tend to seep through, maybe going into the back. And you wouldn't want that. If this had been a card, you wouldn't want that on the inside of your card. So we did them as toppers so that you can do all the coloring you want. Now,
and then just place them on top of your card.
Exactly, onto a blank card. Now, as I said, there are 3 designs, so you're going to get 2 sheets. Again, the black is the raised Color Me. The white, of course, is the paper to absorb.
So 2 sheets of each design, and you can cut along the edges. You can color them in any way you would do any of the other Color Me products.
And then, as if that weren't enough, because we really want to give you something for the inside of your card or for the
an
front.
embellishment,
So we've got all of these tags and labels and extra art in where we've already decided the sayings, but then another one where you get to decide.
Which is great.
Just in case we didn't choose correctly. So, or if you want to personalize it, you can stamp, you can computer journal, whatever you like. So there are 8 sheets in every single pack, following this formula of 2 each of 3 designs, and then the labels with words, and then the labels to personalize.
Right, and this one is the Flowers and Swirls card toppers, and I'm anxious to see what we've done with them.
And also, there's one on the back, which probably is going to be in this pile. Now, here is that very first one, and actually, this is what I showed you this way, but look what Anne has done. She's turned it like so.
Turned it like so, and she used the Spectrum Noir pens to color this in.
Wow.
Even that gray on the background, which almost looks a little bit like suede when it's colored that way.
It does. Actually, I like how she's variegated the color, not made it smooth.
And probably used a blender pen to lift up some of the color and sort of change the gradation of color.
And this is just a perfect example of what the card toppers allow you to do. This is one piece.
Right.
This is one piece.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all that's
I mean, oh, so easy.
So sit down, have fun, do a little coloring, pop it on a card.
And the thing that I like about watching what someone else has done is the color combinations. To put the purples and the grays and this green is just beautifully done, but you may not think of that.
And Anne says when she's doing shading, like you'll see in one of these flowers that there's shading, she always starts with the darks. So she'll put a dark outline, she'll put dark in the center, and then use the lighter colors to fill in and blend.
Okay, so that's a good example. Okay, beautifully done. On the inside now, look what she's done. She's gone back to the paper collection and she used this one, and it's really pretty tone-on-tone-ish.
It is. It almost looks like a velvet, I think, and it's so dark you can just see the images of those beautiful flowers.
Two of the cutouts right there, just again, simply and beautifully done. Fun that she picked the green up here, and just a little tiny bit of purple in the butterfly.
It's a beautiful. It's very rich.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, now we're going to go to the second one, and look what our Anne has done. Very clever.
A really neat idea. So the base of the card is actually acetate.
Yes.
So the whole thing. So it's scored right in the center.
Right. So there's acetate. That's a little designator telling us where this came from. So it's a piece of acetate that's just been scored, as you said.
And folded.
And yet, look what she's done. She has separated out that card topper.
Right. She has cut out in between all the layers there.
Okay. So on the front, she has the flowers and the scallop border. And then she's got the banner.
Right.
And on the inside, she's got the rest.
And this, she used the Mirage papers.
Yes.
So she actually, after she cut this out, she used it to trace out the shape that she wanted from the Mirage papers. And that's what you're seeing.
So this is the Color Me.
This is the Color Me card topper here, right here, behind here. Here, all the way around the edge, and she cut out around the scallops.
So this polka dot area was
removed,
and then the white also,
and the white on the edges, and then she used that piece as a template to trace this banner and the edge of this cardstock, and so she got cut out scallop cardstock.
And so then this is glued inside the card, and this is obviously glued on the acetate. So,
and she also, I mean, we're not even talking about the color yet, which is on here.
We're talking about the engineering that she did,
which is just beautiful.
I love the shading.
I do
Isn't
too.
that pretty?
That's done with gelato. So so this is from the yellow gelato set, and here's one of the card toppers.
So you got 4 colors.
There's 4 colors in there, and just very briefly, I'm going to start with that, with the darker.
I'm just going to show you the gelato set, because you get the brush and you also get a little stamp. So I just wanted you to see that.
Brush is very useful, and then you just start coloring around, and she chose to get some of the darker color right near the flowers, and say, I need to push that up a little bit. So a little bit of outline around the flower edges like that. I'm going to do it there. I'm going to do it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing.
It's kind of waxy, crayon-y.
Right, almost like a craypaw, a little bit waxy like a craypaw, if you're familiar with those. And go around the edges, and then I'm going to color in the next part.
You may say craypaw. I'm thinking chapstick.
No, chapstick is not going to work in this case, believe me. But the craypaws are similar. But gelatos are great. They blend so well. I mean, it doesn't look like it right now. So what you're seeing is like, well, gosh, that looks like crayons coloring around.
And it kind of looks like, a third grader did it. Not.
It does. No, I agree. But,
I love you, but
you notice that they don't have like a very fine point on them. They are kind of wide at the base, but then you get something like, Anne said she used a wet paper towel. I use a wet wipe. And they blend. It will blend them together.
Now, surely Anne has baby wipes. Good heavens.
I'm sure she does. But this works too. It's what I had handy. And so then you just start blending them together like so. Can you see how they went together? And I'm going to blend from the light into the dark.
it's kind of magic that it works
Right.
because it looks so amateurish when you put it on. Kind of like the watercolor pencils have that look, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful look. And so easy to execute. So you've done that. And then obviously she went into the pinks also with the yellows. But I think just the execution of this, the engineering is so clever and such a good thing to remember, and that's why you watch the webisodes. Now, this is also one of the labels. You can see she used the one that has the words, and then she stamped that one on the inside.
And Anne also gives really good instructions on how she details and does each of these pieces. So that's all on the gallery.
Okay, good. Now, there it is horizontally, just to show you. There it is vertically. So you've got two very different looks. This is simply using it as it comes, as one piece, not separating it. And again, just two of the labels.
One of the labels and one of the, and this has been glimmer misted, and I can't remember if those are delusions or inks now, but that'll also be on the gallery for you to look up.
Nice to see the two very different color combinations too. Now, we're going to go into the next one, which is called Winged Things.
Winged Things.
And a very popular look. And you can see that we've got the dragonfly on the front. So let me show you the 8 sheets that you'll get. 2 of the dragonfly, and look at all that is with it. And 2 of the honeybee.
Love those. Wait till you see the card she made with that one.
Yes, very neat. And then the butterfly with the fern of the leaf. And then, as you would expect, that sheet of the words. And then the sheet of the
onwards. Same label. And I want to point out that these labels they're exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
So that there are some moments when you can actually cut out a part here and foam tape it on top of that part.
Let it be raised.
Right.
Oh,
so anyway, it's an interesting way of using it.
Okay. So butterfly, we're going to start with that. And here it is in just a really pretty color combination. And what I appreciate and want to point out is that you don't have to color all of it.
Right. That white makes such a nice statement. Plus it draws your eye right to the center, a little dark on the edge and then white in the center.
And I think it's nice to point out just the variety of themes. Not only can you color them, but you can also do any theme you want. Now here's a sympathy card, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Now this was, are you getting ready to show something that I should know about?
Not for this one.
Not yet, okay.
No.
Okay, so here it is. And on the inside, she's used Gypsy Jewel papers and simply one of the tags. Add a little bit of ribbon and you are done.
Just beautiful.
Just so pretty. Now, the dragonfly. I love the dragonfly. I just think it's so spectacular.
And this one was done with Distress inks and that stylus blending tool that we showed you. So I went around the edges. I actually did this card. I went around the edges with the blue and then on the greens. And you can also use a paintbrush on the Distress paints and paint in any details you want to get in like that.
And you also did a little bit of shimmer, didn't you, with the rhinestones?
Yes, the baby bling, I think those are, and just added a few to the dragonfly.
You're right, and I have them over here.
The clear ones. It's sometimes called silver, but it's clear.
Right, and
then one of the little tags here that was I also did the inking on there, but then I sort of bent it a little bit, added a little extra foam tape, and got a little bit of a wow on there.
Right. Now, I have to tell you, this has been in sheet protectors. I mean, this, I can push that down, and it's still going to retain. So you can put this through the mail. It's just fine.
That's travel. That's gone to trade shows.
That has.
And it's doing very well.
And so this is the card topper just exactly as it comes. This is all one piece, simply adding this little tag and the ribbon.
But doesn't it look like it's 3D dimension just with those colors?
It does. And on the inside, simply layering, that's what you were talking about.
That's what I was talking about. Cut out the center of one label and foam tape it on another.
We'll get in close to that just so you can see the coloring.
And then you can tuck some of that vine ribbon in there. That's a nice look.
So you didn't actually cut this out and overlap it. You did not. Those are just because the two of them, not the fern, the leaf isn't.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's just very, very pretty. A few of the little leaves tucked in there. So
Color
gorgeous.
Me has such a beautiful look. Those designs are just, that's what starts it all.
And now we have our bee, and I think that's what you're getting ready to show us.
Right. The bee is with the watercolor pencils, but it also has a unique feature right here on those wings. The wings have been cut out. So you put this on your craft mat, and this is what Anne did. She cut out just around the wings with a knife, with an X-Acto knife, just around the wings, but not off. She stopped right there at the base of the wings so that you can pop them up like that. So then you put this on your card and you foam tape those wings up, and that's the effect that you're seeing there.
That's very nice. It's kind of like the tag that you did, where it's subtle, but when you've got it in your hands, it's really fun.
Right. She also colored these in with watercolor pencils, and this is the yellow set. This is what you get in the yellow set. I think there's maybe one that I sort of left in the package, but you get all of that, and you get a paintbrush.
Yellow set. There it is in the package.
Like. These are one of my favorite products to use. They're so much fun because if you want to, you can start coloring away, and you can go right in those white areas on the Color Me. You don't have to much worry about getting on the black. It doesn't really affect it much. But after you color them, you can add a little water, and you can either blend them. So if I were to put them down on this end, and I wanted to blend it a little bit, I would get a little bit of water with my paintbrush, and then you just start moving it around. So you can move the color around, you can make it lighter. If I start going off to the edge, it'll start to get a little lighter. You can blend that, and you can make it a real smooth, uniform appearance instead of having those pencil coloring lines that you normally would see.
Now, it looks like you can also do some blending, and I know you've done this before. So some of the orange out of that yellow set is at the base of each of these little pieces, you know, the
just
honeycomb.
Add a little orange there and just smooth it in with the paintbrush.
It just gives some depth. And we talked about that the labels and tags coordinate with the images, and this is just a perfect example of how that happens. Again, looks like we've got some pearls right on the wings
and around that label. It's just beautiful.
Because of course bees have pearls. And then on the inside,
those are dewdrops.
There's a big piece that has done with the gelatos.
Right. So not the gelatos.
Not the gelatos.
These are
excuse me, the watercolor pencils.
The pencils.
Sorry.
She just drew these long strips, and then she colored them in. You know, I keep looking at them thinking they might be gelatos. So go on the gallery and find out for sure, because but you know, I could have you can get that effect with the pencils too.
Right.
But that's starting to look a little like gelatos now.
Either way, but just a beautiful, beautiful look. Okay, we have one more set of Color Me card toppers.
It is my personal favorite.
Is it your favorite?
Yes, it is.
And this is Clocks and Gears.
Clocks and Gears. So a little bit of a masculine bent toward it, but it's great for anybody.
And we thought it was about time to have something a little more that way. So you can see this giant clock. So not only that, but there's some texture here. Obviously, you're going to have two of those. Now we also have the gears. So nice big white area to do something.
For a different focal, stamping. You can add some of the extra artwork there.
And if you're a lover of all things steampunk, this is perfect for you. And then we have the gear border, that frame just all the way around. And here are the tags that we have. You can kind of turn them any different way. And then also the blank one. So let's see what magic Anne has done for us. Well, here we are. Remember, this is the one I said, that big white area. Look what the woman has done.
Isn't that beautiful? She actually cut it out. She cut out the white area, and she placed it, the rest of the piece on top of one big piece of silver linen.
The silver linen, there it is. And I love the gold, copper, and silver. I mean, that is just gorgeous.
Right. And that's done with smooch.
Right.
So the smooch inks individually and colored on there. Isn't that beautiful? Just all those metallics. It's perfect
gorgeous
for that clock.
Now, and smooch, you know, it has that applicator right inside, so very easy to pinpoint accuracy.
Right. I can show you one. They actually, if you haven't seen one, You shake it up a little bit first, and then when you open it up, it looks a little bit like for painting your nails. But it's not. But it's not. It's not a brush. It's a it's like a hard foam applicator that doesn't lose that point. That point doesn't go away.
Which is really, really nice.
Very simple to paint, great detail.
And look at that. And again, not every piece was painted, so this part was left, but cutting that out, I love this hanging, that piece.
Great?
It's just perfect.
A pocket watch hanging
and
down.
On the inside, taking a couple more of them and Time to Celebrate. Just absolutely beautiful.
Just a beautiful look. There's not a lot, you know, there's not a lot added to these so far. It's just that Color Me card topper.
Right, a little bit of specialty paper maybe.
That's about it.
And here is another look at this. She has taken that and used acetate. The woman's been on an acetate roll.
So she started out by cutting the edge off. We showed you that, the piece that had that textured. Here, I'm going to pull it in here so you can see. So this is what it looks like before. So she started by cutting this textured piece off.
Right.
And she cut out some of the little areas
she did.
inside, in between the numbers, the Roman numerals, on there. Then she used glitter pens, glitter markers actually, to color in all of that blue, the blue elements that you see there.
Okay, the glitter markers, at this moment in time, they're on reorder, so we're waiting for them to come in. But they come in this carrying pack.
This great set.
And look at them. So you can get all of these colors. I think they're 18.
So you can do your marking and the glitter just goes right along with it.
Right. So very fun. And there are 2 of the black and 2 of this blue. I guess two of a couple of them. Yeah, because they're the more kind of more useful. Yeah.
And what Anne said is that with these markers in particular, you want to be a little bit careful around the Color Me part so that you don't scrape it off because there's an alcohol in there that can do that.
Okay.
But anyway, once she's got that all colored, she's got those cut out, then she covers that entire piece, that card front, with acetate and just anchors it on there.
Okay. You know what I'm really appreciating is this color combination, because I would tend to go more toward this or browns.
I agree.
And I love seeing that blue and purple combo.
Something bright and colorful.
So striking.
And the beautiful rhinestones all over it, and all on the centers of all of those gears.
Now, okay, rhinestones and clocks, of course, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And on the inside, she has used the Gypsy Jewels papers, but look what else she's done. It all looks kind of gearish on the inside.
It does. It looks very 3D, though they're not foam taped on. They're just glued on there. I love that this one was left white, so you can stamp something on there. Just the edges were colored. And then everything is hanging with these beautiful jewel border dazzles.
Right. So just absolutely stunning, as we would expect. We have one more, and here is another look at this same card topper.
Right. It's just some of the part that's similar about it is that edge was cut off so that you can see the inside of the card.
And the inside of the card was covered with the brown fireworks holographic. Now, I have to tell you, when we first did the brown fireworks, I thought, what are we doing? Brown fireworks, and yet it has been a favorite of the design team.
Oh, yeah, it's so much fun because it's sort of a muted look, even though it's still shiny.
Yes.
And then this one was colored with fluid chalk ink, so in the background, that hazy part was applied with one of those stylus ink blending tools that I showed you. And then here again is the smooch, getting the copper and the gold.
Now I'm also seeing some blue in here.
That's the fluid chalk ink.
Yes,
that
it's
was
so pretty.
So the blue along the edges, a little bit of the
Not sure you can
brown
see
or
it.
butter, or maybe butter on it. Look on the gallery and find out the right colors. And then these great brass or copper?
I think they're copper.
The copper jewel dazzles.
Just happen to have a package right here. So it goes right along with the brown fireworks and the copper. And there is an example. Just so
isn't
nice.
It beautiful? But then on the front of this one, some of the extra artwork was colored in with some of the smooch, cut out, and then foam taped back on top.
quite gorgeous. Just so many things you can do. And I guess that's the best thing I like about Color Me. It is just so full of colorful options.
Very much so. And we will see you tomorrow.
And give you a hint. Think of gumdrop and honeysuckle. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.